Hello, my name is Jessica Spencer, and this is my how to guide for conducting an open house. The most important thing about an open house is that you're utilizing your leverage as the listing agent or using the listing from your office to generate more business for yourself. So, the first purpose of the open house is to build credibility with your buyer, with your seller, and with your community. So you are going to use your listing or someone from your office's listing to hold an open house that gives the seller whose home isn't sold yet the confidence that you're working hard to get their home sold. That also gives you a reason to reach out to your database and cultivate that, to let them know that you're bringing value to your community and that you have homes for sale and that you might have one for them. And then also, it gives you an opportunity to utilize those buyers who are in the market that maybe don't have an agent that they're working with yet. So I'll go with you through this process to show you how to successfully hold an open house. I am Jessica Spencer. I own a small independent real estate brokerage in Clarkston, Michigan. And so I personally sell homes, and I also help coach my clients and my agents to building their business. So when we're looking at whether or not to hold an open house, what we want to do is we want to kind of get our clients buy-in as the listing, as the person who's listed their home, and ask them, what is your opinion of an open house? Because if their um, opinion of an open house is that open houses are a waste of time and it's garbage and I'll never let my neighbors walk through my house because it's just a bunch of people looking for no reason and it's terrible, I'm probably not going to push too hard to have an open house. And you don't want to affect the relationship between you and your client by coming in and saying, this is our huge open house strategy when they're not in open house. They're not interested in an open house. So that's one thing that I would do before I decide whether or not to hold an open house. The other thing I would do is I would just, if you do see that the client is a little bit hesitant, you can mention, all right, well, we won't do an open house right away, but if the house is on the market for a certain amount of time, we might consider doing it then. And so now, once you've decided to do your open house, what we really want to focus on is there are 2 points to an open house. One is to get the potential buyers for your home. And two is because you're going to utilize it to market every opportunity you can to build your brand and your business and your imprint in the community. So we really want to use that leverage to drive the attention to the home as a separate and equally important opportunity as the actual open house itself. So, what I want to do is, I want a comprehensive way to make sure that we get every single person in that house. At the very least, that every person I know knows that I'm doing an open house that day. So, what we're going to start with is we're going to make sure that we're marketing the property the best way that we can. So, we're going to use our social media platforms. Maybe we're going to do a video, a YouTube video. We're going to make sure that we're sending out postcards, and we're going to door knock the neighborhood and let them know that there will be an open house there this weekend. And every conversation that you're having leads towards more potential buyers coming to that open house. And at the very least, it makes sure that all of those people know that you're a realtor in your hometown. So we want to make sure that we're really utilizing all of the opportunities. So maybe even calling the neighborhood or doing a voicemail drop to that community to make sure that they know where you're going to be and when. And so once you've done that, you're going to get ready for your actual open house. So, in addition to printing out your flyers and doing things that you would normally do, getting your sign in sheet ready, feedback requests, those kinds of things. What I want you to do is really litter the whole community with open house signs. I'm talking every open house sign you have in your possession, I want it out there. I want 25 signs. I want everybody from everywhere to know exactly where your open house is. If someone's not calling you to complain that you put out too many signs, then you didn't put out enough. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a map of the area, and I want you to have a dot on each intersection around the home, especially from the main road to the house. And so we're going to put those directional signs at each intersection with a balloon as well. So basically, there is absolutely no way that someone who is out looking at open houses for that Saturday could possibly miss yours. So once you've done all of the when you've gotten your map ready, what I want you to do the day of the open house, I want you to give yourself way more than enough time. And I want you to start by going to the house and setting up for your open house first. I want you to set up, I want you to get your cookies out, your water bottles, whatever flyers you're using, your sign up sheet, your welcome home, your booties. I want everything set up first in the house. And then I want you to work backwards from the house to the main roads. And so the reason I want you to set up in the house first is because sometimes you run out of time putting out signs, and I would much rather you be back at the house 25 minutes before the open house begins, ready to go without stress and without worrying about getting your cookies on the tray then. So basically, you're going to go in, you're going to set up all your snacks, all your goodies, and then you're going to go and put out your signs. And so once you do that, then you'll come back to the house and you'll just kind of prepare. So you get back to the house 25 minutes before your open house, and then you record a Facebook video. You record an actual video that you save onto your phone that you can use on social media later. And I want you to invite everyone to come to your open house. So the point of the video is to give them the value proposition to come to your open house. So whatever it is, free ice cream, free cookies, free dog. I always want, if I'm reaching out to my database, it's got to be to give them something of value. So whether it's an ice cream truck or a food truck, or it's free cookies, or it's a little raffle, whatever it is, there has to be an item of value to prompt them to come. And so you want to make sure that you have that all ready for you. And then once you begin your open house, you will make sure that you're welcoming people in the home. So when your guests come in, obviously you're going to ask them to remove their shoes if that's necessary. You're going to kind of let them come in and then sign into your guest book. So before you do, you're going to take your, please fill out this information, and you're going to invite them to sign in and just say, for my safety and for the safety of the sellers, if you could please just sign in so we have a list of people who came through the house. What I want you to do is I want you to fill in the first 3 lines with somebody's name, address, name, email, and phone number. Because as much as the line above them is filled out is how much they're going to fill out for you. So make sure that as you're bringing people in and walking them through, that you're kind of keeping an eye on the sheet. Because if someone only puts their name, the people under them, it's going to be like a upside down triangle, because they're only going to make what's above them on the sheet. So once you allow them in, you can kind of give them a little bit of space, let them kind of walk through, let them know that you're there if they have any questions. And then once they've kind of had a chance to do a bit of a walkthrough and kind of get familiar with the home, I would always make sure that I'm staying on the same level of the house as them, and maybe in the same hallway that they're in. But you don't have to follow them into every bathroom and every bedroom. You just want to give them a little bit of space to breathe so that they can so that they can speak to each other if there's more than one, or so that they're feeling comfortable. So if you're doing your open house, you really want to make sure that you're using that opportunity to ask questions to the potential buyer. Have you been looking long? How long have you been looking? What areas are you looking in? How do you feel about this home? If they're not interested in this home, that's your opportunity to find out what they are interested, so that you can be the one that tells them, oh, I have a few other houses that I have listed in the area that might be a little more appropriate for you. How would you like to get together at my office and put together a plan so you don't have to go to open houses every Saturday, but you have someone who's working night and day for you to get you into the house that you would like to buy? So, those are some of the things that we're working on when we're at the open house with them. So, the one thing I would do is when I'm getting ready to do an open house, I always want to make sure that I have 2 open hours after the open house, because my goal is that someone who came to that open house is going to go look at houses with me after, or is going to meet me at my office for a buyer consult, so that I can get them pre-approved with a lender, get them on a search to look for homes. And so one tip that I have is to ask, not are you working with an agent, because likely they will say, yeah, definitely, I'm definitely got an agent, don't ever call me. But who are you working with? Who are you working with to buy a home? Because it's much harder to make up a name than it is to say, oh yeah, I definitely have an agent. Oh, I guess I can't really remember their name right now. What is it? Jennifer or something, I'm pretty sure. So um so basically, you want to kind of open-ended questions. You want to use those to be able to prompt conversation, because the more they talk, the more they like you. So that those are some of my tips for holding a really successful open house. I hope it's helpful. If you would like a copy of my checklist for preparing for open houses, please feel free to reach out at jessica@spencersold.com. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.